What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So we're going to check out, this is why heel John Cena can't lose at WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41 is right around the corner, and the John Cena versus Cody Rhodes match for night 2 is this Sunday, and a lot of people are under the impression that John Cena, since turning a heel, or you're returning to a heel character in a very long time, he shouldn't be losing his very first match as a heel to Cody Rhodes. We're gonna see why this individual feels like it's a must win for John. And a lot of y'all feel that way, and I'm kind of leaning towards that as well. It's just one of those things where it was such a surprising moment, and it would feel like what was the point of him turning heel if he was just going to lose anyway, unless they're telling another story of John Cena, feeling like, maybe this wasn't the best route to get the job done. Granted, it still would be like, well, what was the point? You know what I'm saying? Other than to have John Cena as a heel, not as a babyface going against Cody Rhodes. So we're going to check this out. Let's see what ideas and reasonings why this person would feel like this needs to happen. Appreciate all love and support. Let's get right into it, man.
The crowd reaction to John Cena's sudden return at Elimination Chamber sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. It wasn't nostalgia, it was unease. Cena walked out not with the patented salute or a towel thrown into the crowd, but with an eerily calculated glare and a smirk that immediately erased years of goodwill in seconds. The crowd wasn't just witnessing a character shift, they were seeing the weaponization of legacy. And in that moment, the message became
such
clear.
A great moment.
This isn't the John Cena who hugs Make-A-Wish kids and fires off corny one-liners. This is the man who's decided that if the system he built has forgotten him, then he'll destroy the new world they've crowned in his absence. That's not something Cody Rhodes can overcome. Not now. Rhodes, for all his heroic polish and championship pedigree, is walking into a trap, not a wrestling match, not a coronation, a setup. The most dangerous part about John Cena's heel turn isn't that he's angry, it's that he's strategic. He's not storming into WrestleMania with chaos. He's bringing calculation. Every promo since Elimination Chamber has been lined with barbed wire, laced with surgical precision, aimed at exposing Cody's fragility. Cena isn't mocking Cody's past. He's weaponizing Cody's present, the neck injury, the tears, the dreams. Cena's new character doesn't want to win the title for glory. He wants to snatch it out of spite, to invalidate the very narrative WWE has desperately tried to build around finishing the story. And if Cody wins, the entire heel turn collapses under its own weight. It becomes a momentary detour rather than a seismic character reinvention. The aura is lost, the mystique is cracked, the danger fades. It's not just that Cena can't lose, it's that everything they've risked with this version of him becomes irrelevant if he does. He shaved off every remaining sliver of babyface identity to become this bitter, manipulative version of himself.
And that's a very good point. I'm glad that he brought that up, which a lot of people are kind of in agreement with. You have him go heel. You have him turn on the fans. You have him say all these things about the fans that he's wanted to say for all these years, and then he loses. Then it'll be like, what? You know what I'm saying? That's why I do feel like The Rock has to be involved in this. This is not going to be a clean win for John Cena, because he's been trying to do that for years. He's been trying to get a good, clean win for I don't know how many years, and he hasn't been able to. So guess what? He's going to have The Rock to help him. He's going to have some type of interference to help him solidify this heel turn, because it makes no sense if John Cena is a heel and he doesn't cheat. He needs to cheat to win and to really solidify this moment of, hey, this is what it is now. And what you could possibly do is now start to show a little bit of the cracks and frustrations with Cody, because after a year of holding the title, he loses it to The Rock in a sense. The Rock finally gets what he wants, and John Cena gets what he wants, and he gets screwed out of it. And now he has to chase for it, which a lot of people prefer to chase more than anything nowadays. And it makes sense. The chase, a lot of times, is always better than the actual reign itself.
You don't do that to elevate someone who's already peaked. WWE has leaned too far into Cena's bitterness to hit reverse now. He's tearing apart the production design of WWE itself in his promos, cutting into the the corporate slogans, mocking press conference culture, taking digs at sponsors, calling out the reality of sports entertainment being more business than art. If he loses at WrestleMania, then it's all just performance. If he wins, then he becomes the most dangerous man in wrestling again. Not because he can hurt people, but because he can control the narrative. He can redefine what power looks like in WWE. Cody's character isn't equipped to survive that kind of storytelling defeat. He already got his WrestleMania moment in Philadelphia. The finish the story arc reached its zenith with Roman Reigns' defeat. To now shift the entire weight of that narrative into a second consecutive redemption arc would exhaust the audience. There's a thin line between sympathy and stagnation. And Cody.
And I like that. I like what he's saying there because, and I said this in my preview and predictions, I mean, he, outside of no Rock interference or anything like that, Cody looks unfazed. He doesn't look like he's the underdog here. He doesn't. He doesn't. He comes off as, bro, I've been down this road before. It's just you, bro. I'm not worried about you, which is why I like the fact that there may be some type of trap here that we don't know. It hasn't been alluded to. And we're going to find out on Friday what could potentially happen. But it seems as if there is a greater plan here than just Cena trying to take the title. I think there's going to be more inclusions of outside interference that Cody is not calculating for or preparing for. You feel me? It's just one of those things where Cody doesn't look like he's worried. You know, there's no, I guess you can say, adversity in this situation because we haven't really seen it. It's just been Cody and John Cena going back and forth. The Rock hasn't really been included outside of Elimination Chamber. So that's why I say this is one of the few times him going into WrestleMania, he's not the underdog. He just looks like a competent champion that's like, man, hey, John, you're not who you used to be. I'm going to pack you up, and I'm going to send you home early. That's how he comes off. So him losing would kind of switch that narrative. Now, you know, obviously he's not going to lose clean, but now it's like, damn, bro, what am I going to do? This is a different John Cena. You know, I miscalculated how far he would go. What am I going to do to stop this guy? How can I stop this guy, especially with the backing of The Rock?
While still adored, risks slipping into the ladder. Cena beating him forces Rhodes into uncomfortable but necessary territory, a reinvention, a darkening, a new layer, because the best babyfaces are forged in suffering. And if Rhodes overcomes this version of Cena without truly being tested, it dilutes the venom this heel run was built on. Cody can afford to lose. Cena cannot. The reality is that John Cena's heel turn is more than a character shift. It's a challenge to WWE's own moral compass. He's not cheating to win. He's dismantling narratives, exploiting nostalgia, and calling out hypocrisy. He's saying the quiet part loud, pointing fingers at a machine that chewed him up and spit him out in favor of fresher merchandise and a newer face. It's meta. It's layered. It's the kind of storytelling WWE hasn't leaned into this deeply since the days of CM Punk's pipe bomb. If Cena walks into WrestleMania and loses clean, then everything he said about WWE being corporate theater rings hollow. If he wins, then suddenly WWE is forced to answer to the character it created. They must confront the reality of a man who was once the golden goose turning into the serpent in the garden. And the most critical piece here is timing. Cena isn't sticking around for another 5-year run. He's chosen this moment, this era, and this opponent for a reason. The stars don't align for this kind of storytelling every year. The anti-hero heel John Cena run has a very short window, and its effectiveness hinges entirely on whether he reclaims power at the expense of the new regime. Not in kayfabe, in perception. This version of Cena isn't looking for a title. He's looking for revenge against irrelevance. He wants the last laugh. He wants to leave the business not with a fond farewell, but with a scar across the heart of its next poster boy. Cody winning gives the audience catharsis. Cena winning gives them trauma. And that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. The truth is, this heel arc gives Cena something he's never had: unpredictability. The old Cena was reliable, the one who always did the right thing, said the right lines, and posed with the fans after the show went off air. Now, he's unpredictable in the most unsettling way. He might shake Cody's hand, or spit in his face. He might pin him clean, or tear up the championship afterward, and drop it at Triple H's feet. That volatility gives this match stakes that go far beyond a win-loss column. If Cody wins, then the arc stops. If Cena wins, the story explodes. You get fresh blood feuds. Seth Rollins hunting for revenge. CM Punk returning to balance chaos with chaos. LA Knight calling out the king with no kingdom. The possibilities are endless, but only if Cena walks out of WrestleMania with his hand raised. There's also the backstage reality. Cena is arguably the most politically powerful figure in WWE history, not in terms of politics with the boys, but in terms of corporate weight. His brand is their brand. He's their last link to a mainstream era that moved merchandise, opened movies, and touched every corner of pop culture. He's not just another legend. He's their safest investment, but by turning heel, he's put all that goodwill on the line. He's sacrificed his universal appeal to say something deeper about identity, relevance, and bitterness. You can't erase that in one night. You can't sell out your legacy only to lose it in a moment of feel-good triumph. That doesn't serve Cena, it doesn't serve the fans, and it sure as hell doesn't serve the future of storytelling in WWE. Heel Cena is the closest thing WWE has had to a prestige drama villain in years. He's the Walter White of this arc, a man who believes he's right, even if the world sees him as the villain. He's methodical, layered, and entirely convinced that everything he's doing is justified. Cody isn't facing a monster, he's facing a martyr, and martyrs don't go down easy. They burn everything with them. If Cena loses, he becomes a punchline. If he wins, he becomes legend in a whole new way. This isn't about part-time appearances or Wrestlemania moments. This is about a man clawing his way back to the center of the conversation by any means necessary. And the only way the conversation continues is if he leaves Philadelphia as champion. In this new era where WWE and UFC are fused under the TKO banner, corporate interests will always try to smooth out the rough edges. Cena cutting against that grain creates genuine tension. When he goes off script and attacks press conferences, mocks brand speak, and smirks while camera crews scramble to sanitize him, it creates a feeling of instability that's been missing. That instability is valuable. It creates water cooler moments. Cena, for once, is the disruptor. Letting that disruptor win sends a message. Not even your golden boys are safe. Not even your new empire is immune. And once the audience buys into that danger, you've got gold. The internal architecture of this feud is also too intricate to be resolved with a clean Cody win. Cena's cut deep into the DNA of Rhodes' arc. He's questioned his motivations, his fragility, his dependence on family narratives, his over-reliance on sentimentality. These aren't surface-level jabs. They're attacks on Cody's psyche. If Cody wins without answering those questions, without evolving into something more hardened, more ruthless, then he wins in a vacuum.
And I like what he's saying there, because this loss should change Cody. And I hope it does. And we started to see little shades of it with the Kevin Owens feud. And CM Punk kind of addressing him like, are you good, bro? We started seeing shades of it. And what John Cena said to Cody, there's truths behind it. He comes off as this person that isn't, like, some people can kind of see through the facade and the suits and stuff. Who's the real you? And are we going to get the real Cody? We got the Cody that, loves the kids and he gives his body to the business. The ultimate babyface Cody, the John Cena 2.0 Cody, right? But what is a Cody going to look? What version of Cody are we going to get after he loses something that he worked so hard to get? He fought 2 years in a row to get that title, went through everything, and now he loses it. And once again, most likely it's going to be in some shady way. How does that affect him? Because he hasn't lost. In over a year, he hasn't lost the title. So how does that affect Cody? How does he bounce back from that? What type of arc is he going to have now? Because it's different when you win it and you've worked your ass off to get it. But what happens when you lose something that you worked so hard to get? It usually changes you. You're not going to be the same person. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they play up that part of Cody, and I hope they do.
Cena walking away as champion forces Cody into a crucible where he has to redefine his purpose and earn not just the audience's cheers, but his own self-worth again. It's storytelling that doesn't end, it evolves. Cody winning ends the chapter. Cena winning rips the book in half. Even the visual symmetry matters. Cena raising the title as the crowd boos in stunned silence. It's the inversion of everything WWE fans are used to. It's not about shock for shock's sake. It's about memory. That moment becomes a time-stamped reset. What fans think they know about John Cena. It's not the Thugonomics throwback. It's not the hustle, loyalty, respect, nostalgia trip. It's something new, something darker, something lasting. If that moment ends with Cody holding the belt and fireworks raining down, then everything Cena built vanishes into confetti. If Cena wins, then WWE has a 6-month arc of chaos ready to right itself.
Yeah.
Every Raw, every press conference, every promo becomes a loaded gun, and no one's better equipped to handle that pressure than Cena. He doesn't need to wrestle weekly. He needs to haunt weekly. His promos, his presence, even his absence becomes plot.
And here's the thing. What makes it crazy is they've already listed the dates that he's supposed to be there after WrestleMania. He's going to be there quite a bit. Granted, he's not going to be wrestling as much, but he's going to be there quite a bit. I think he's already supposed to be there for Backlash. And, I think Backlash this year is going to be in St. Louis. And, that's Randy Orton's stomping ground. I believe Randy Orton's from St. Louis. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there, because it makes sense if he does win. Because him losing and then having all these dates, you're going to be like, well, what's going on here? Why is he here? Obviously, this is his farewell tour, but it's still like, well, you lost. So are we supposed to take you seriously with this heel turn? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that he's going to be around, and we're going to get some reversal of feuds that we, haven't seen before. Randy Orton as the babyface and John Cena as the heel, it writes itself.
He can cut taped segments from movie sets. He can manipulate from afar. He can pull strings in the shadows. The WWE title doesn't become a belt. It becomes a hostage. Cody, Rollins, Punk, even Roman, they're all trying to bring stability back. And Cena is laughing in the background, holding the future of the company ransom in plain sight. There's also the deeper meta commentary. Cena has been the prototype for the WWE machine for decades. Now, he's become its most dangerous critic. That's not just compelling, that's essential. In a time when fans are more aware than ever of behind-the-scenes politics, brand alignments, and creative directions, Cena becoming the embodiment of the system, turning on itself, is timely. Letting that character lose in his first major test is a betrayal of that concept. It's admitting that risk doesn't pay off. Cena winning proves that wrestling can still shock, evolve, and say something worth listening to. Most importantly, Cena has said in interviews that he's not interested in doing greatest hits anymore. He wants to challenge perception. He wants to end his career by doing something that scares people, that rattles the cage, that makes the next generation rise in response. Beating Cody accomplishes that. Losing to Cody doesn't. And in an era where WWE is trying to balance spectacle with substance, Cena's heel turn is a rare alignment of both. It's not just storytelling, it's a referendum on the product itself. A loss for heel John Cena at WrestleMania 41 wouldn't just close a chapter, it would seal off an entire creative opportunity that WWE might never recover. What's at stake isn't merely the result of a title match or the payoff of a main event build. It's the most daring character evolution of WWE's most protected figure in 2 decades. And for that to end in failure would shatter the credibility of WWE's storytelling risks moving forward. This isn't about a man getting pinned. It's about the potential implosion of WWE's momentum in an increasingly competitive and critically discerning wrestling landscape. When John Cena turned heel at Elimination Chamber 2025, the shock wasn't from the crowd alone. It was a tremor that reached the core of WWE's identity. For the first time, the man who built his brand on merchandise-friendly catchphrases and squeaky clean heroism chose to reject everything he stood for. Cena didn't just turn on Cody Rhodes, he turned on the system, and by doing so, he turned on the fans' expectations. If WWE allows Cody to pin this version of Cena cleanly at WrestleMania, it sends a clear message to the audience. Even the boldest decisions will be undone when it matters most. That type of creative bait and switch doesn't just disappoint. It conditions fans to distrust narrative stakes entirely. The problem isn't that Cena would lose, it's that what he represents would collapse. His promos have gone beyond insults. They've questioned WWE's evolution. Cena has mocked the shift toward corporate gloss, criticized the overproduction of characters, and ridiculed the sanitized image that WWE projects on social media and at press conferences. In doing so, he became the first real opposition figure within the WWE universe in years. This wasn't just a wrestling feud, it was ideological warfare.
Hey, this was actually pretty dope. I like this. I like the commentary for this. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a like, and this is on the Wrestling Revival channel, so definitely go check that out. and give them a subscription. They have some other videos that I think you guys would be interested in. But they made some very great points here. As you really think about it, him winning makes the most sense. You have him lose, the heel turn is kind of wasted. It's not even kind of wasted. It is. To have him turn back to babyface to realize Cody can take this loss. He can. He can take this loss. I mean, it made sense for him to take this loss. He's damn near beating everybody. It's okay for him to take this loss. I think you tell more stories with John Cena winning and what can happen. Now you can tell a different story with Cody. Also, you can tell new stories with John Cena and who he's going to face on his final tour. You know, this farewell tour. All the baby faces, you know, that are, well, all the people that he's faced in the past are now baby faces, essentially. Now he gets to face them as a heel. The dynamic change. And pay attention to the people that have said something about John Cena. We've had Randy Orton have some choice words for John Cena. You don't think John Cena don't know or didn't hear about that? CM Punk, one of the people, has some choice words for John Cena and The Rock. You don't think he didn't hear that? There are people out there that are actively, and these are people that, you know, you can see in a world title situation that have history with John. Man, if Edge was still in WWE, I'm willing to bet that would have been a crazy feud to have. They have so many things they can do. Hell, even Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could finally have something to say. Or Seth Rollins. That would be a nice match. Like these guys that have had history with John, all of them looking at John differently now, are going to all want to take that title from him. There's many stories you can tell there. So, but hey, comment down below. Let me know. Is John Cena win at WrestleMania this year a must win for him? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Do you feel like he has to win or all of this is for nothing? Or do y'all feel like, well, maybe he could possibly lose? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Looking forward to their match on Sunday. But I appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking to me. See you on the next one. Peace.